News time is 10:06. Jack Riccardi on the news and talk of San Antonio, 550 KTSA and online at ktsa.com. And now, right now, this very minute, we officially start the weekend. Gang of Four is in the house. We're going to kick around the big stories of the day and the week with the gang, some of whom have never met before. And I love when that happens. It makes for that awkward strangeness that fuels good conversation. All right, well, Cathy Meyer has been on Gang of Four as long as we've had.
I'm the dinosaur of the group. These
Gang of
gentlemen
Four.
here could be my grandchildren.
Oh, I wouldn't put it that way.
Happy
Wait,
birthday,
let me do the math.
Happy birthday, KTSA, and good morning, Aunt Jeannie and Uncle Bill.
Yeah, you're big fans in Universal City, right?
Yes, you're longtime listeners.
All right, Cathy has been, guys, just so you know her, she's been an FBI agent. She has been...
I was licensed to carry long before there was an issue.
Absolutely. She's been a real estate agent.
Real estate agent.
You are now a middle school teacher.
Happily, 7th grade English, 2 more weeks.
And probably other things I don't even know about.
Well, I did the gang business for a while, and violence.
Yeah, you were a gang expert.
Stuff, yes,
you weren't in a gang. You were a gang expert.
I tried. They wouldn't have.
They wouldn't have her. All right. There's no tall blonde gang apparently. All right, so Cathy Meyer is here on Gang of Four. Also with us, comedian Jay LaFarr. And Jay, welcome back to the gang. Were you ever an FBI agent?
No. I'm pretty sure that I've done enough things which would disqualify me from
You wouldn't even,
service.
not even going to apply. You have an event coming up, though, that we want to get behind. Thursday, August 9th. It's another charity event.
Yeah, Humor for Heroes at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club. We raise money for a bunch of different things, mostly like Wounded Warrior type of things. And the nice part about that organization is they're all volunteers, and not one dime goes really to administrative costs type of stuff. It all goes to the charities. After expenses, of course, but it's pretty. And
this is a night with several comedians on the bill, and so it's really going to be. If you go, you're going to have like a full night of entertainment.
Well, this night actually's got Juan Villarreal and Bobby Henline, who very funny comedian. He was on Ellen DeGeneres show. He was a soldier in Iraq, was blown up, was sole survivor of a roadside bomb, and he's had I don't know how, like probably 70 surgeries now, but he lost an arm, had his facial reconstruction, looks kind of like Friday the 13th Freddy Krueger, and but he's an amazing character, and just when you talk to him, you just get such positive energy, and Raul Sanchez, the winner of the funniest in South Texas this past year, Eddie Hernandez, Carolyn Picard, who's an amazing headliner in her own right, and Matt Golightly, originally from San Antonio.
All right,
so,
all of that. We'll talk more about that coming up. That's the Humor for Heroes show on August 9th. And our #1 Ron Paul fan, he will never give up, Carlos Abelar back on Gang of Four. Carlos, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, how are you feeling about Ron Paul these days? He's almost in retirement practically.
He's almost out. I'm glad that his the Fed bill passed the House, so maybe he's having a nice exit out.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll invite him into Tampa to the convention. We'll see what happens there.
I know you are really rooting for some kind of mischief or something going on at the Republican convention, right? A Paul uprising.
Not a mischief.
Oh, miracle, not mischief. All right. All right. Look, is anybody in the room boycotting Chick-fil-A? I didn't mean to look at you, Jay, when I asked that question.
Oh my God, what a stupid thing. Yeah, God knows that that you can't buy a sandwich somewhere because a guy actually espoused a belief. Heaven forbid we have any traditional values in this country anymore, and anyone that does, they're a tool. I have a lot of gay friends. I don't care what anyone does. Just be quiet and leave everyone alone. And making an issue out of this is just ridiculous. I have a buddy of mine. He says, "I'm not going there because every sandwich you buy shows you hate gay people."
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea I was casting a vote with my sandwich.
Yeah.
Is that only the crispy ones, or is that the grilled ones too?
I don't know.
And what about the waffle fries?
I've never even eaten a Chick-fil-A, but I'm going to start just because of this.
Let me ask you about that, Carlos. In a way, when you start making a business like this the focal point of boycotts and what have you, and you have the mayor of Boston and the mayor of Chicago trying to block them from coming in, I think that might actually drive business. In a weird way, that's probably good for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I don't think that was his plan, but like you said, in a weird way, it might end up being like that. But I ultimately think that it's just that since it's getting close to the election, any type of issue like this just gets revved up a notch, just because it allows people to join their red or blue team, and they just start hitting it real hard.
Well, and it's not. It shouldn't even be an issue. It's a private enterprise. They get to choose how they want to run their company, and if you don't like it, don't eat there. What's the big deal?
Well, we're talking about the difference between a company whose president or executives has expressed a point of view or a set of values, versus it would be different if they were, for example, refusing to serve gay people or people they thought were gay. But that's not what's happening.
Their business model is run on a set of, Christian values, which they've taken from the Bible, and the fact is that someone would even say that in this day and age is amazing. You know what? If it was a Muslim company in this country, and because Muslims clearly are not tolerant in any way of homosexuals, no. I mean, I believe they still say, well, stone them.
Right.
If they had anything like that, no one would say a word because everyone's scared of Muslims.
Yeah.
They'd be afraid that they'd blow them up or something. And that's
But are the cities aren't preventing them from coming in? They're
well,
just saying they're not welcome.
Well, this is interesting. They talked like they were going to. The mayor of Boston said, sort of chuckling, let's see them try to get a permit. And in Chicago, the alderman in the district where they wanted to build the store said he was going to do everything he could to block the issue of permits and the rezoning of the land and so forth. They've already acquired the land, but they could stop it with zoning. Now everybody's had to step back and say, oh, whoa, wait a minute, actually we can't do that. We misspoke when we said we were going to prevent them from getting permits. What's amazing is that they thought even for a day that just because they disagreed with the political point of view, they could I mean, are they going to try to shut down the Catholic churches in their cities? Because there's a lot more of those than Chick-fil-A,
well,
and they don't perform gay marriages.
And you look at a company like Hobby Lobby that advertises wholly on Christian conservative values, and I don't think anybody's going to kick Hobby Lobby out of their town. I don't understand yet. I don't understand why it's news. It was somebody misspoke. Let's move on to the next thing.
Well, I think because, it's interesting to me that people who should know better, and clearly people
Is that disconcerting to you? I
would go beyond disconcerting. I use stronger words than that. It's just very interesting that they clearly know better. They know they can't do this. They never speak, as Jay mentioned, this strongly in any other term or on any other issue. In fact, most cities these days are on bended knee trying to get businesses to come open businesses there and hire people there. So it's just interesting that it's so politically correct, this faux business of standing up for gay marriage. And they're not really making any stand for it. They're not advancing the cause of it. But it's so politically popular, it's like the ribbon and the lapel thing, that now you just throw your weight around and you make these bullying remarks and these bullying gestures, and it's okay. And I think all of this actually makes people more sympathetic to and feel more like if they weren't going to go, now they want to go. They want to give their business to Chick-fil-A. So it doesn't even accomplish the objective, right, of answering the
great advertising.
I mean, I'm going to wear a little chicken wing on my lapel, I think, to support
rainbow colored.
No, just chicken, because I really don't know. I don't know how this even became. All he said was, we support, the Christian ethic, which recognizes marriage between a man and a woman. That was the gist of it, right? And then they turn into, you hate gays. The people though that are most against this, from what I've seen, they haven't even read what he put down.
Well, here's what's interesting. In the interview that was cited as the start of all this, he never references gay marriage. He never talks about gay marriage. He's not asked about gay marriage. So this whole boycott came from a completely ignorant point of view.
Oh, yeah.
In other words, it started with tweets and rumors, and there's some people in this country who I think are very easily led, and you tell them to boycott and they do. They don't even need to know why. But then it turned out that in subsequent interviews he did add some clarity to his remarks, and he did say that they stand for traditional marriage and they believe that the institution of gay marriage is something that God would frown upon and would condemn and all that. But still, You're entitled to your opinion, right, Carlos?
Yeah, and it's kind of like I think there's a little bit of media bias against maybe a company that's white and Christian, maybe because I would think that there would be more media for like when it might have been a couple months ago when the coalition of the black churches made a statement or something against Obama because he specifically said that he was going to be like, or that he was for gay marriage, something like that.
They condemned him for taking that position.
I mean, that's more news to me, or that that should have gotten more coverage, but it doesn't because it's probably because it's.
Is it homophobic to be against gay marriage?
No.
Oh, I don't think so. It's just an opinion of a lifestyle choice.
Mm-hmm. So, if you're opposed to it, if you say you stand in favor of traditional marriage, you haven't actually attacked gay people, in your opinion?
That's an interesting question because, I don't know, I'd never thought of it that way. That I like you because you're gay, not that you are. But I won't like you when you marry Carlos, and...
Why am I the gay one in this situation? I'm about the manliest man in this room.
Hey, wait a minute.
I exchange gunfire.
Well, I can't be gay. There's no other women in here, so I'm sorry. I have to pick on you.
Well,
but that is an interesting question about if individually, if you choose to be to come out as a homosexual, and I respect you and I let you live your life and I don't have a problem with you, but then you live with your partner but you don't marry, I still respect you and I allow you to live your life and I don't care about you. And then all of a sudden you want to get a piece of paper. I'm so confused by that whole debate.
Well, because the libertarian take is that government should have never gotten involved in giving out actual marriage license, the actual paper. Marriage should be, it's an institution of the church, therefore, and if gay people want to call themselves married, it's up to them as in two individuals.
Sure.
Or however they want to do it, the government should have never got involved, and just like everything that government gets involved, it makes things more complicated.
That's why I said yesterday, there is nothing stopping gay people from living as though they're married, from just as there's really nothing stopping people from marrying their sister or marrying their horse. The piece of paper that you have to get.
It's the bigger argument about the rights you benefit from when you are married.
But what I think Carlos is getting at is we have oriented this around getting that piece of paper that says the government recognizes this relationship. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but marriage licenses don't enable people to fall in love or enable people to meet each other. It is just a formal declaration, and if we only need it, as some people argue, for the lady to change her name or for the
health
rearranging
benefits
of health benefits and other financial instruments, we could certainly easily do that, right? If people just need to change their name and change their beneficiaries, we could do that without granting marriage licenses.
Yeah, and like as someone that just got married, I didn't even know, but I guess like once again, like if government gets involved, it's like, and the government sets the rules or tax rules to say that if you're married or whatever, you file jointly, it's better. I didn't know that, but I was like, cool. I didn't know that. That's like a positive, I guess. But
yes,
they
most
put
people
these.
get married for the tax benefit.
Well, they don't, but I didn't know that was in there, so I was like, okay, that's cool.
I will marry any woman right now who has good money.
There you go.
I don't care.
He's got his 1040 form ready to go. All right, we're going to talk more about this and many other things with our gang. On our gang today, Carlos, Jay, and Cathy, and it's 1021 on 550 KTSA.
I'm a little nervous here, but I do have my weapon. We don't think in terms of what is the most terrible, awful thing that could ever happen, and how would we prevent that? And what does a terrorist look like? I mean, you don't know. You don't know what a child molester looks like. Right. You don't know what a bank robber looks like. You don't know, and you have to start training yourselves. It's interesting to me to listen to people that were in that theater and now people going to movies say, you know what, it never occurred to me to think about where I sat in a place before, but now I'm looking for escape routes. Which ironically, if you fly on planes, my brother's a pilot, a commercial pilot, and he always talks about when they give you that briefing at the beginning about know where your exits are, if you've never been in a cabin that fills with smoke where you can't see your hand in front of your face and you don't know how to get out of there, you don't know what panic is. And every time you get on an airplane, you should know what is your escape route. Anytime you go somewhere, you should know that, and that's not how we think. But events like this kind of bring that up, just for our own personal daily safety.
So how do you balance not giving them the platform or manifesto with the fact that we actually, it is dangerous. So what you're saying basically is it's dangerous to be incurious about people that do these things, right? How do you balance that?
I don't know.
There's no easy answer to that.
Yeah, because I saw that live, that interview. It was on MSNBC,
Right.
and I remember that he was very well spoken. That I thought in my head, I was like, I wonder how people that might see that are gonna react tomorrow. And I think just like on all the blogs or radio stations and stuff like that, I listened to it, and it was like the narrative almost changed of how people, because I don't know if it was because of that interview, but if you're playing it, so it's almost like someone by just being well spoken and being truthful to what he was talking about can change almost the mindset of how people were covering it. So there is no balance. It just depends on how people feel about it at that time, and some people will still run it another way. Some people will run it.
And
it
you
just
look
depends.
back at the Columbine shooters. I mean, some people might remember their names, some people won't, but everybody remembers the fact that it was bullying that led up to a lot of their unhappiness and their need to be vindictive to a lot of innocent kids. And so it's good to know that. It's good to know what brings people to this point of cracking so that we can learn how to prevent.
That's the thing about the Columbine. Did anyone ever mention they just might have been jerks? That there is bullying, but there are also kids who are just bad people who then other people respond to, and then they call, I'm being bullied. No one likes me because they don't accept me for who I am. You know what? If you're a weirdo who is into, dark goth metal or whatever, then
It's possible no one will like you.
yeah, it's a good chance that, and you're going to find a couple kindred spirits, and you're going to sit around saying we should kill everyone because that's what we should do. And there's just bad kids.
I have to defend the goth people based on that. Goth people don't go out and kill people.
No, not all of them.
And they're not isolated.
That's a bumper sticker.
And they're
That's a shirt right there. I'm going to be selling it at my
and
show.
it's not that I'm defending goth. I mean, I'm defending your right to choose to be who you want to do. So don't pick on one little
No, but
group,
if you choose to go against everyone else, and you're so annoying and weird, then yeah, you're going to get picked on, and that's what you should be. You should be ostracized. There's some people who are just...
So you're saying bullying is okay?
I'm saying that some kids are jerks, and when you respond to them being jerks...
so are some adults.
Oh, I know. And those are people, too, who should be... We let people get away with stuff. I think that's what kind of the whole essence of this show is today. We let people get away with stuff, and we don't respond to it.
You really reacted, though, when she started talking about the that we should understand that Columbine was caused... by these kids being bullied.
Did it work? Maybe because they just sucked.
Yeah. So this is where I'm saying if we get too into the discussion of why did the shooter do it, then it's offensive to people because their reasons are elevated above, other more important things, right?
What you mean, the shooters or the
Do we take too
violators'
much
reasons?
time trying to understand people that
Oh,
might
I
just
don't
be
think you can ever
evil?
try to understand. It's hard to understand evil because we're not. And so it's just back to my original argument. You've got to understand where people are coming from in order to defend,
Maybe you won't
protect,
understand
and
sometimes.
prevent. Well, because Jay's right. There are just turds in the world. They're just awful, terrible people. I see them on a regular basis.
Don't look at us when you say that.
I don't see them in this room.
Oh,
but
thank
any kindergarten teacher can tell you, I can name the kids that are going to cause problems to society starting now. And they're
That's
always
depressing.
right. I mean, you can
Boy, in
tell early
kindergarten?
on.
That's
Kids,
depressing.
you can tell when they're real young.
Do you put that on the progress report?
It's not politically correct.
No, you
could get
can't.
sued.
You can't say it. There's no code for that.
But
right?
in the teacher's lounge, and there have been teachers that have gotten in trouble for being honest
I'll
about
bet-
what's going on.
I'll bet a lot of stuff is said in the teacher's lounge that would probably benefit society to know ahead of time, right?
Well, and then there are some teachers in the teacher's lounge that are a little nuts themselves.
No
Oh,
doubt.
sure.
All right, we got more Gang of Four coming up. It's 10:52. Our 5:50 KTSA weekend AccuWeather says sunshine 96 today, 98 tomorrow, and Sunday it's 84 at San Antonio Severe Weather Station 550 KTSA.